Hey, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to learn how to use light modifiers in flash photography. Well, let me see, how do I take this off? Yeah, so basically, this is the light modifier. They're very cheap. You can buy them on Amazon or eBay, and they allow you to modify the light in such way that you can focus. For example, with this particular one, you can focus the light beam, and I could do better product photography. For example, I'm not a photographer full-time anymore. I began doing photography, but I do mostly video now. With the lockdown, I have a lot of free time, so I decided to invest back in photography. And this is a cool tool that I needed to have. A lot of the modifiers for lights that I have are meant for big subjects, like taking portrait photos, or like exterior photos, or you know, for illuminating big surfaces. This will allow me to fine-tune how my light behaves when I'm doing product photography, for example. This is a standard mount. It's called Bowen's mount. So this, let me take this off. This is an adapter that has a Bowen's mount attachment to it. So I can put my speed lights here, like this. I can put my speed light, and in the other side, put my snout, and that would allow me to use my speed lights with the modifiers. Very cool. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to try them out and see what the effects are. One little cool thing about the snoot or snout, I think it's a snoot, is that you can actually put gels in the beginning of it. You can put a gel there, and then this goes in front. So you could potentially change the color of your light. So it comes with red, blue, and yellow, and then a clear one. But it also has a honeycomb grid. So this will help prevent light from leaking even further. So this honeycomb grid helps the light stay condensed and concise. It prevents light from leaking all over the place. Very cool. That's one of the light modifiers that I have. But I also have a second one. And the second one, it's cooler. You know when you're taking photographs and you have this massive softbox. If you wanted to use big softbox, like the ones I use for video, if you wanted to use that to light, say, something like this small, a watch, you'll have a lot of light spilling all over the place. And you want to avoid that if you want to be able to control and create more moody light setups, I would say, in my opinion. Instead of having something very soft, which would be probably a generic photograph that you find in a website, for example, not an actual commercial photo that you use to advertise, you know. If you have like very simple lighting and very uniform distributed around the subject, those photographs are good, but are good for something else. When you are in the website and you're seeing the actual product, you want to see the product as close as it is without the enhancement of like very creative lighting. So in that case, it would work. So to create more moody light setups, I have this other light modifier. So it's similar to the other one, and it has a Bowen's mount. So this is the actual modifier, and this is my flash. It's an AD200, and it's bare bulb and connected to the mount that allows you to attach Bowen mount light modifier. This one is a bit bigger than the snout, and it will produce a bigger light source, but you can also direct it with these adapters that I have. They will also modify the direction of the light. So I have a 60-degree angle one, 40-degree angle one, and a 20-degree angle. You can see the difference. Let me put that aside very nicely. you can see the difference between the 20-degree one and the 60-degree one. They're actually, the honeycomb structure on the 20-degree one is actually very tight and small, and then in this one it's more, there's bigger honeycomb grids basically. I'm actually just going to test them out and show to you guys basically what the modifiers do to the lights. And based on that, then I can create light setups for the future, you know, when I'm doing all the product photos. So today's video, we're just gonna dive in how these two light modifiers will work, and how, oh actually, I have one more thing. This yoke can also be used in conjunction with a soft fabric as a softbox. So this allows me to have very close to my subject a tiny softbox, and it will have light spill, but not as much as I was doing with my big softbox. This is a very compact and small softbox, and I can have it very close to my subject to prevent the light from going all over the place, and also it will generate very soft light. That's the two modifiers that I have, and obviously this one has different configurations, so let's just try them out and see how different the light that's coming from the light modifiers with the different configurations is. I went ahead and did the test. I just shot them against the wall and kept the camera at the same distance from the wall, and just swapped between the different grids. So what we have here is 60 degrees grid. This is how it looks, and then this is the 40-degree grid. You can see that there's some sort of a pattern, and that's what I was talking about. You know, this might be an issue, might not be an issue for some of you, but you can definitely see the pattern there. And then we're going down to the 20-degree. So again, the flash is at the same distance for all these shots, and you can see that the circle gets significantly smaller, but also you lose a lot of light. And you can see how bright this image is compared to this one. The section where the grid is hidden, it's the same, similar brightness, but the overall image went down and it's not as bright. So then I went ahead and put the diffuser, and I lost again a lot of light. But then you can see now that you have a very soft but small beam of light. And then I went ahead and tried this with the 60. Actually, I think this is with the 40-degree one, and I just bumped the power more. And then this is the 40-degree without the diffusion in front. And then this one is the 20 degrees with a lot of power and the diffusion in the front, and this one is without the diffusion in the front. So you can see that the light is actually very contained. Then I went ahead and tried the snoot modifier, and you can see in the reflection, or you can see in the pattern that the light generated, you can see some of the honeycomb grid. You know, again, might not be too noticeable, but you can easily fix that with some diffusion in the front if you wanted to get rid of the pattern. So there's a few gels that come with it, and then there's one that is see-through, and I put that one in front of the honeycomb grid, and that kind of diffuse a little bit the light. So you can see here, you can see more of the honeycomb grid pattern, and with a little gel in the second image you can't see it that much. And we went ahead and tried the color gels. This is actually very cool because it's a very focalized point of light that you can sync at whatever flash sync speed you can. So, you know, if you use it correctly, you could be very creative with this and create amazing things, you know. I tried the blue one, and then I tried stacking them. You lose a lot of light, but it's definitely usable, you know. So you probably need to put more power if you're going to stack them and combine the colors, and in this case red and blue, to create purple, you know. So after all that testing, my
my idea with this was that you guys could see what the modifiers do, and then you could see them, you know, in a plain canvas, for example, a wall. But then if we take this a bit further, what I was trying to get to is it's this. This is the images I ended up getting with these two new light modifiers. So basically, in this image, the main light is actually coming from the background, the harsh light, and it's coming from the snoot. And I have that, and I think it was half power. And then with the other light modifier, I have it very close to my subject, which is the bottle of perfume in this case. And I have it enough light that it will fill my shadows, but not enough that it will overpower my backlight, which is very harsh, you know. And instead of putting it down, I just tilted it in an angle, so it gives me that shadow. I created a second one, very simple. Again, you can actually see the shape of the harsh light here, which is the one creating this shadow. And then the second reflector is coming on a 45-degree angle on top of the camera to fill the product. And this is very simple, but it just gives the product a lot of character, you know. You can see the harsh shadows and stuff, but also has a soft quality light to it. Again, the same product is now standing up. You can see here the circle that is the snoot is coming from the back and then harsh light, but then my fill light is very soft and diffuse, so you can see the roll off of that light kind of hitting the subject. And then the last image that I have here is this one. So this is a simple, very simple light setup, but I think the possibilities with the gels and with the diffusers and all that stuff are probably endless. With these two simple light modifiers that cost a few bucks in Amazon or eBay, I'll actually put links to where you can find them. You could create very cool photography, and the light is relatively easy to control because the light modifiers give you short or small and concise light beams, as opposed to working with a big softbox. A big softbox would have a lot of light spill, and it would be hard to control. Then you need to introduce flags and stuff, but then you lose the texture or the shape of the softbox. So having these light modifiers, which allow you to use smaller beams of light, then works very well for products that are very small, you know. So detail and these two modifiers will give you very good results, you know. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. I hope some of you learned something. If you subscribe already, pat yourself in the back, and I'll see you next time.